Hello BSS, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here then just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do paranormal videos here on this channel. So if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on all your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween, everybody! Give me candy, please. If you went trick-or-treating, or if you're gonna go trick-or-treating, or if you have candy at your house, give me some, please. Trick-or-treat. Come on, don't be stingy. Keep it coming. Let's go. I need to fill this up because I don't get to trick-or-treat anymore. Isn't this so cute? Look at this. I got this like 2 years ago. Can you hear me? I can't tell. But it lights up. I love it so much. I'm gonna put it over here. Is it gonna be distracting? A little bit, whatever. Can I put it here? Okay. Yay, it's the Halloween episode. I didn't really have a costume ready for when I'm recording this. I don't even know what I'm gonna be for Halloween. Like, I'm pre-recording this, obviously. So I put together this DIY quick outfit. I just drew a little nose on, put on some little horns, and this little cow print jacket because also I'm freezing. It's really cold right now, so this is really cozy, but I'm a little cow. I'm a cute little cow, so I thought that would be enough, you know, just for me to have a costume on for the episode. It's really warm and fuzzy and I'm comfortable in it, so that's what matters the most. Let me know also in the comments what you're gonna be for Halloween. That way it'll be something fun for you to leave down below if you don't end up liking these stories. That way there's something for us to chat about, or if you are still deciding as well. Oh, actually, what am I talking about? This is gonna go up on Halloween because Halloween lands on a Friday, so scratch that. Let me know what you dressed up as for Halloween, okay? And then I'll tell you guys in the comments too if I don't post a picture or whatever. Anyway, let's get into the stories for today. So today I always like doing this for Halloween. I go and look for stories that took place on Halloween, like people's weird experiences or what have you, and then just as long as they took place on Halloween night or like the week of or whatever, that's what I like to do. So we're going to be reading some stories from Quora and see what people have gone through, what their experiences have been on Halloween, because I've never had anything weird or bad happen on any Halloween night. Yeah, just nothing paranormal. There was one time where I wore high heel boots to go trick-or-treating as a 14-year-old. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. I was like, I can't believe that I agreed to wear these as part of my vampire costume. Like, what in the world was I thinking? But honestly, I've had a really good experience trick-or-treating most of my childhood, other than having to deal with the rain here in Washington. Like, half the time it ends up raining on Halloween night, and people will either go trick-or-treating with an umbrella, or it'll be so bad that you can't even do that because water is coming from every which way and you're gonna get soaked no matter what, and you just have to scratch it, and everyone who bought candy just has to leave it out and hope that maybe the next day people will still come by and get some. But anyway, yeah, nothing interesting for me, so let's see if these people have something better than I do. Let's go ahead and get into story number 1. And this one says, around 16 years ago, in 2005, I was only 10 years old. A few days before Halloween, my friend had told me that this year on Halloween, my life was going to change. She was just a normal girl as well, and when she told me that, I brushed her off because I found it a little strange that she would say that, but to this day, I am still astonished at how my life really changed on Halloween night. This was in 2005, so we still had Blockbuster. After trick-or-treating, my mom decided to take us to rent a movie. We rented a couple, and I remember the one we did watch was Zorro. We had a Nissan Maxima, and it was fairly new for us. After getting home from renting the movie, my mom decided it was best to watch it in her room, but something was going on with the DVD player that it wouldn't let it play, so then we decided it was best to go into the living room to watch it. The living room had an open space facing the kitchen, and we had a little dog named Peggy at the time that had her little space there. Halfway into the movie, my dog just starts barking endlessly, and we thought that maybe she sensed a cat outside, or she was just barking at passing cars. She was facing the garage when she started barking, but we didn't think anything of it. Like I said, she barked at everything. Finally, the movie ended and my mom got up from the couch to see what was wrong with our little dog. Suddenly, my mom started to panic and she grabbed Peggy. She said there was smoke coming out of the garage, so we ran to our neighbor's house to dial the fire department. Somehow, in between running next door, Peggy somehow managed to get loose and run. I was afraid I would never see her again. I was only 10, so that night seemed a little blurry. All I remember was watching my house engulfed in flames, watching it through our neighbor's window. The fire started at around midnight, and then the fire department got there, and it took them 4 hours to put it out. My dad didn't live with us, so it took him a couple of hours to get there. After the fire was put out, one of the firemen had asked my dad if we needed anything else from the house, and my dad said he left his jacket inside, so he went to retrieve it. I was just thinking about Peggy and wondering where she could be. I remember that I wanted to look for her, but I was so sleepy. Suddenly, my dad approached the car with his jacket and Peggy, who looked dirty from the ashes. He said he found her on the burnt-up couch. I was so happy that out of all the chaos, she was able to come back. She was definitely watching out for us that night, from the barking all the way to letting us find her. Thinking in my head the whole time, remembering what my friend said to me a couple of days before. She was right. My life did change on Halloween night. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. How would that fire even have started too in the garage? And it was so weird that their dad had a jacket there that he just so happened to be able to get to, even though the whole house was engulfed in flames. How did it even recover that? How did the dog get back in too? And at what point did it go back in? Insane to me. And I also thought it was funny that they got through the entire movie letting the dog bark the entire time. I don't know how they even watched that movie if the dog was continuously barking. And then they finally, once the movie was done, they were like, okay, now I can go check on the dog and see what the whole fuss is about. That's probably over an hour and a half movie that they didn't even go bother looking at what she was barking at. It's kind of insane to me, but okay, it is what it is, Sorry, I keep thinking that the audio sounds weird, so I'm messing with it. So if it did sound weird at any point in the beginning, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and get into story number 2. All right, and it says, so here's the setup. It was back in the 70s. I was maybe 12 or 13. It was Halloween night. My parents were out at a party. My baby brother was asleep. My friend Dave and I had finished our trick-or-treating. It was about 1 a.m. and we were watching a movie called The Haunting, a psychological suspense horror movie which we had never seen before. We were watching the movie in the family room with the lights out. In the movie, there is a particular scene where something is making tremendous, scary noises in the hallway, but nobody can tell what it is. We were both totally engrossed in the movie and the suspense. At that moment, our cat comes howling in through the utility room window, runs at full speed, 360-degree circuit around the walls of the family room, screeching the whole time, and then runs back out the utility room window. Dave and I both jump from our seats in a total panic. I turn on all the lights and look around. No cat, no nothing. Everything is quiet except the TV still showing the movie. We finished the movie with the lights on. Hold on, let me go back because I was like, wait, is this their cat or is it just some random cat? Oh no, they said our cat. And then, so obviously there was going to be no cat. You saw her jumping back out the window. So yeah, obviously that's a given. But what would have caused her to do that? She was really I'm going to put on a show. She probably got freaked out from something out there. And she just came in and had a total panic attack and then dipped back the same way she came. But honestly, that would have scared the crap out of me. And I probably would have be telling the same story every Halloween. I'd be like, guys, I got so scared at Halloween. Oh, there was one time actually, I totally forgot about this. This is more like high school, when my friend was trying to force us to go to the cemetery. And one of my friends was like, oh, I live by that cemetery. It's not like scary. It's not creepy. It's just a resting place for people. It's like at the time, it was a fairly new, well-kept cemetery with like a beautiful fountain, and during the day has like these huge fields of open green grass, and there's nothing creepy about it, even obviously during the daytime. Especially all of the tombstones are like the new versions of tombstones, and there's nothing creepy about it. We were driving around on Halloween because we didn't really have any plans. There was nothing for us to do. One of my friends like wanted to get fireworks and just popped them off in the middle of the road. She was really weird. She was who I used to call my best friend, but she was like kind of a bad person. But she was the one that was kind of like trying to like drag us out there. And then the other girl was like, oh, I live next to that and there's nothing creepy about it. And then we ended up like driving to the cemetery. But then all of us ultimately were like, oh, this is dumb. Like, what are we even going to do? And then, you know, one of the other girls were like, oh, we can just like sit around and see if we hear anything. And we were like also saying that it was gated up and we didn't want to like jump over the fence or get in trouble. So we ultimately just left, and that was it. And we were like, that was so stupid. That was such a waste of time. Why did we even do this? And we went back home, or to the girl that lived by the cemetery, her house, and we were just eating candy, watching movies, and that was basically it for that. So still not a very interesting story from me, but I just thought I would say it anyway because maybe you would want to know about it. So there you go. I just had to put in my own little story right quick. All right, so let's go into story number 3. The scariest thing that ever happened to me on Halloween had nothing to do with the holiday. I was finishing my daughter's costume when somebody knocked on my door. When I went to answer, there was a police officer waiting on the other side. It turned out that my ex was trying to get the old assault charges dismissed, and the court had been looking for me for a while. At this point, it had been 7+ years since I had gotten myself and my daughter away from him. Through his own actions, he had not had contact with my girl since she was 6 months old. I had a permanent restraining order, and all my personal info was blacked out on all court documents so that he couldn't find us. I had done everything I could to keep us safe and away from him, and there was a police officer telling me they needed me to go to the courthouse where he would be and give a statement again about the other things he had done to me all those years ago. It all came crashing back. The fear, the pain, the shame. I had spent months in and out of the courts when everything came to a head years earlier, and he had gotten away with it all. The only win I had was when he lost his supervised visitation because he never showed up. He never paid a dime of the court-ordered child support. He basically just got a slap on the wrist for all the bruises and damage he had done to me. I had to have regular visits with DSS because he had assaulted me in front of my baby while he just went on and lived his life like nothing happened. I thought that I was doing okay, I really did, until that cop knocked on my door. The thought of him being able to find us, of what he might do, terrified me straight into a panic attack. Still, I did what they needed me to do. I went to court, I gave my statement, I went back again for the hearing and spoke before the judge. I made sure they blacked out my info on all documents. I insisted on protection while in the same building he was, and I made contingency plans to take my daughter and run if I had to. In the end, he entered a no contest plea and once again got to walk on the assault charges. I'm fuzzy on the specifics as it was a long time ago, and being in the same room as him made me unable to concentrate through the fear. I just know he got away with it again. Thankfully, he never showed up in our lives again. There's still that fear in the back of my mind that someday he will try. Girl, nothing is scarier than what real people in real life can do, obviously. As much as the paranormal scares me, and I don't think I would be okay if I ever saw a ghost, yeah, people are scarier, of course, and the physical harm that they can do is people, you don't want to go there at all. So I'm glad that at least this person was still able to stay away from them and not have them find her, hopefully, because that's just scary. And that's like the worst news to get when you're just trying to have a good time. It's Halloween. She was making her daughter's costume, and she probably couldn't barely finish it after this happened. She's like, oh, cool. Now I have to pretend that everything's okay when I go take my daughter trick-or-treating. That sucks. That's not fun. Let's go ahead and get into story number 4. A friend of mine lived in the middle of nowhere. We'd just gotten back from going haunted housing in town, and I was at the kitchen sink. I looked out the window, and there was a figure wearing a pinstriped zoot suit, a bloody rabbit head mask, holding an axe. I figured it was one of her brothers playing a joke, trying to scare us, so we completely ignored him. Throughout the night, we could hear noises around the property, and when we would look out the window, we would see balloons tied to things. We weren't overly concerned about the man with the axe, as we still thought it was one of her brothers. And well, we live in the Midwest, and we were girls with guns. Plus, he never did anything threatening. Well, the brothers came home, and they were freaking out about the guy with the mask and the axe. We stated we thought it was one of them, and they acted like total sissies. The cops were called, but of course, by the time they arrived, the man was long gone. The balloons were everywhere, over 3 dozen, and he'd left the axe at the woodpile. Never did find out who he was or if he was dangerous. Always thought it would make a great movie though. Oh my god. Okay, it's giving Donnie Darko. That's what they're basically saying. But that would be so freaking scary. And one question I would have is, did they have candy? Was anyone trying to trick or treat? Because I feel like if they were and either nobody answered the door or there was no candy put out, this person was like putting up a trick. How do you say it? They were tricking them. They were doing a trick on them. They were doing tricks, for not having candy out there. Maybe they're just trying to be scary. They're like, this would be fun. Getting some people in the middle of nowhere scared. Okay, and then let's do one more. This will be the last one, I think. Okay, no, we'll do another one after this. So number 5. I might be cheating a bit here since it was actually me being scared, but rather something I did. There was a group of 9 to 10-ish year olds who were stealing candy, and they were pretty good at it. They would wait at the neighborhood park, which isn't lit, and would run out, steal, and retreat into the dark hills of the playground. This worked quite well for them until I showed up. I was already planning on giving these kids a talking to because they had swindled my best friend's little sister, making her cry. I was dressed up as Indiana Jones that year, and my mom had equipped me with a toy Bowie knife, a fake whip, and a toy gun. There were about 7 to 9-ish kids at this point when me and my friend walked past the park, only to have them attempt to rob us blind. One went for my bag, only to have it crash into his face hard enough to send him flying. My friends had run ahead, and the kids had given up on them. I was a 12-year-old at the time, and about 4 inches taller than all of the kids, but they must have thought that they could overwhelm me because at one point they just tried to tackle me. The fake knife was sent flying from my waist, but I caught it from the air. I also grabbed the fake gun in fear that it might be sent flying and never seen again. The kids must have thought the knife was real, as they screamed in terror and fled. I later saw one of the kids practically in shock as a distressed lady asked what was the matter. I think it's safe to say I gave them a Halloween to remember. Happy Halloween, folks. That story was kind of funny because it feels like when you think you were like really cool at that age, but then when you recollect these thoughts in your head or these memories, you realize that it wasn't like as cool as you thought it was when you were that age. And it feels like that's how it was. Like in her head, she was like doing all these cool things. They were like, oh, I almost got tackled and my knife went flying, but I caught it midair. Like it sounds like overly dramatized version of the memory that they had, probably just because they were 12 years old at the time. that is still fun. And also I love that they like actually stood up for themselves and didn't let their candy be stolen, because why do kids do that? Like, all of this candy is free and you can just, it's like they just don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work of walking from house to house and obviously trick-or-treating. They just want to get the candy and get out of there. That's like hilarious. All right, this is the last story number 6, I think. I hope I didn't miscount or lose track of where I was, because I tend to do that, especially now. This is like, I'm tired. I'm like, I don't know, I can't keep track and I can't talk anymore. Hold on, I needed that. Cheers. All right, so after not drinking for 2 or 3 months, I decided to party on Halloween 2 years ago. Early in the evening, I took a muscle relaxer, low dose, mild, but it helped my back. After the Halloween party, I was supposed to stay overnight. I grabbed my spare keys I keep in the car and went to my local bar. My back was hurting, so I took another muscle relaxer, forgetting I had already taken one. I went into the bar, had a shot and a beer, and that's the last thing I remember. The following is supposition. Is that a word? They're just supposing that this happened? I don't know if that's a word on my part from what I can put together. I went outside to smoke when my friends found me at 2 a.m. I was asleep in the rain, sitting on the bar stairs. For the first time in my life, I had to be brought home and pushed/pulled up my 3 flights of stairs and put in my bed. I have good friends. October 31st, I wake up to a horrible pain running through my chest to my back like I had been shot by an arrow. I can barely breathe, can't find my car, so I drag hobble to the bar, but no keys for my car. The pain is getting crazy now. Every movement is ripping, tearing, feeling in the center of my chest. To this day, I have no idea how I literally cracked my sternum in half. That's right, I broke my sternum like a wishbone. Also ripped 3 back ribs out of the muscle. This bar I went to has stairs. The only thing I can figure is I started falling from the top, held onto both railings, and fell forward between my arms. The doctor asked me how this happened, and I had to tell him I had no idea. I suffered for weeks and weeks and punished myself for rarely taking anything for pain. This is one of 3 scary Halloween stories I have, but this one put me off drinking for 15 months. And I rarely drink alcohol anymore. I just get too nuts. I think maybe the muscle relaxers had a little bit to do with that, obviously, because not only did you take one, but you took 2, and then alcohol, and then it's not, I don't know, it's Halloween, so there's just some like energy in the air. So yeah, I feel like the stairs had to have done it to him, because have you ever tried going up and down the stairs when you're drunk? Like, you need assistance. It's just like the stairs, just, you can't tell how far you are from them. You're like, each step, it looks like it's a million miles apart, or like you think it's really close and then you miss it, or you step too soon. In an instant, you're on your ass. So that's probably what happened with this guy. That's kind of funny in a way. Obviously not funny that they got hurt this severely. Could that have happened from a fall? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I think worse things have happened from a fall down the stairs. He could have cracked his head open. He got lucky with that. But okay, that's it. If you have any experiences from Halloween that you'd like to share in the comments, like if they're little short stories like the ones I told earlier of my experiences on Halloween that weren't even really good stories, they're just kind of things that sort of happened on Halloween. If you've had better experiences or more interesting experiences, share it with the rest of us. I'm pretty sure people would like to read it in the comments and see what you guys have gone through on this Hallows Eve. I don't know. Okay, I'm done. I gotta go. I'm tired. And make sure to eat a lot of candy for me on Halloween, and have fun and be safe if you're going out to do anything. As I said, share your costumes with me to what you're gonna be tonight, and what you're getting up to. If you don't have any stories about previous Halloween nights, let me know what you're getting up to. That way we can conversate a little bit. But yeah, guys, happy Halloween once again. As I said, have fun and be safe out there. And if you made it all the way to this point in the video, make sure to comment a little orange heart. That way I know who stayed all the way to the end. And if you did, just know that I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. And also today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave a nice comment below, and that's it. I appreciate you and I love you guys so much. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye. Moo la vaca. Moo la vaca. Okay, I'm done.